What's good with the YouTube? You already know, Big Flacco with a convict's perspective. I'm going to smash, dash, and slide on through with a little bit of energy. So, please hit the like, subscribe, and comment. Do all those things to help the algorithm. So, what I'm going to discuss, man, is, a story that happened once I defected from the lifestyle. And people are going to know exactly what happened. And what gave me the idea to run this story is you had an individual who was jumping in the comments who wasn't out there in the mix. Wasn't even associated with any of us at that time. Wasn't out there when we were in the trenches going to war with other hoods, and we were we were definitely at war in the 90s for a minute out there in the streets, bro. And there's a lot of homeboys that remember that. And I was the one that was at the focal point of all that shit going on. Shootouts, my car getting shot up, fucking going to prison, all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? People forget about that. And my life kind of evolved from there. And some of these individuals who now think like all of a sudden they got a little backbone, man. Come on, man. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. You know what I'm saying? Just because an individual doesn't go out there or kick it or associates with that lifestyle no more, don't all of a sudden get your fucking head this big, bro. Because the one that was commenting on this, man, it was just ironic, man. Because I get you were cool with this individual, man, but what about? It's weird because one of those individuals was claiming that his BM said that you had done something to her. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, I see you guys in pictures together. I thought that was crazy, but that's a whole nother story. So, since you had these individuals in the comment section, right? Both these individuals who I have respect for, they're not punks or nothing like that. They're with that action and they're known in Milpitas. I'm gonna tell a story about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna mention their names. Why not? Since everybody else wants to have my name in their mouth, and I don't always go there on a lot of situations. I could put a whole lot of things out there. People forget, man. I know a whole lot more than people realize, man, because everything was going to me back then. Everything. Don't forget that. So, after I defected, it was well known, it was well put out there. Like, I say within a day or two. So, what I decided to do, right, I had a lot of ego, and it was affecting me, and it's just where everything kind of transcended the rest of my life afterwards. You know, I was only 15 minutes from where I lived. I was only 23 minutes from San Jose. After all the shit I did, that's how far I was. I didn't move anywhere too far. I was right there in the midst of things in the Bay Area. So, but before that, I went out to Milpitas and I showed up to a homeboy that passed away. And since you want to mention his name, I don't know if he told you this story, but I showed up to Ozen's house. Then Armando showed up as well. I'm up in Ozen's house, and I've already been talking to Ozen what time it was. Here comes Armando. He goes, "You got a wire?" I go, "Nah, I'm strapped." And he goes, I bet." And so I started chopping it up with all these individuals. Then we were inside the house and we went outside. And I got my thing on me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not grasping it in a position to where I'm gonna take them out. And so I tell these homeboys like this, I said, "You guys all know me. I ain't no punk, I ain't no bitch, I ain't nothing. I came here out of love and respect for you guys. That the political spectrum of things, it just gets way too crazy. I got too much involved in this lifestyle, not realizing that what I was committing to was not my friends. They were not my brothers. But once I made these choices, man, look what happened with my wife and whatnot." I said, "So however you feel about it," I said, "do what you Vatos got to do right now." I go, "But I'll tell you right now, I'm strapped and you guys know I will go out." You know what I'm saying? "Go ahead and make that move." And just the homeboy was just like, "Man, that's why I never got involved in that shit." And you could tell he wanted to get off a little bit, but he was hurt. You know what I'm saying? So nobody could ever take that situation from me. I wasn't in there like this in my hands in the pockets. I wasn't being aggressive or disrespectful, but I said, "I'm not going out to nobody like no punk or bitch. This is what happened. You guys know the scenario. A lot of you guys want to stay in the shadows when everything was going on," is what I said. I said, right is right, wrong is wrong. And I showed up, and a lot of homeboys can confirm this. Not everybody's going to know about this because they didn't want all that stuff out there, but I showed up and admitted what happened and why I did it and said, "If you got a problem, bust a grape." That's the kind of dude I was. And these dudes ain't no weenies. They're not no bitches. They're dudes I had a lot of respect and love, man. But since this one cat wants to sit there and, you know what I'm saying, decide to go over and over, excessively over comments, man, well, here, this one's for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's about 20 more situations I'm sure people don't want out there that I got the details and the paperwork to support that a lot of people out there don't want to see. So keep on running your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And the whole reason why I'm bringing this up, man, is that in the end game, a lot of people don't care about that lifestyle. A lot of people who are just regular homeboys, gang members and whatnot, only do what they have to necessarily do. And at the end of the day, most people recognize, whether they agree with it or not, but those that have been out there and realize who you are as an individual, they're always going to have that type of outlook of who you used to be. People have a tendency that never liked you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like another dude too tried to get stupid over the comments in a little fucking IG post. I'm like, man, come on, man. How many times did I save your fucking ass? You know what I mean? The other dude, I'm this little dope fiend motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's what happens though, man. And it just kind of, at that time, a lot of it was like, I've experienced a few times where people have got at me. See, the real ones that I know that are really with that action, they're not going to be getting at me like that. They're not going to be talking shit. They're going to keep my name without putting it out there. Because there's people out there that never barely put any work in, or youngsters who are still coming up that don't realize the impact that I had out there in the streets at one time. In that town. You know what I'm saying? For the homeboys. You know what I'm saying? Those are facts. And I don't know more. I realize that. But it doesn't mean that I can't tell my stories that can maybe help somebody. And, even those that are active, it could help them stay away from the certain situations and circumstances that may get them crossed up. Because I was out there when we were trying to push all control of all the hoods and have different hoods directly in contact with us and pay fucking dues every month and so forth. I was one of the ones that was out there when we were trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? I was the one that had two of those homeboys that I had them working underneath me as their second and third out there for that town. And to where I was covering their fucking monthlies because they had no fucking hustle. You know what I'm saying? Those are facts. You know what I mean? I helped out a lot of people out there, and people forget, man. I was out there when motherfucking the first gen tried to hit me up because we had to smash on the homeboy one time because he got stupid when I had a lot of work on me. And so fucking we put tips on him. And next thing you know, they tried to have a meeting and said they decided that I owed a DP. You know what I told them? I said, well, fucking bring it then. I'm strapped. What you vatos want to do then? I didn't take it to the fucking carnales. I didn't take it to the bros. I didn't do none of that shit. I said, well, bring it then. I don't need anybody that got my back. And I remember Mongo told me afterwards that they got fucking spooked over that. So don't all of a sudden, because I'm not around, because this situation happened, think that things are different. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Just because we decide to live a different lifestyle today and whatever choices we made, you didn't have to make those choices. You weren't in those scenarios or situations. Those are facts. So I kind of got a little offended, man, by this dude in the comments because, I know some stuff that was brought up by him. And it couldn't be proved, and I shut it down. Even though he wasn't a homeboy, I wouldn't give the green light. I told the homeboy, if you feel you got to do what you got to do, just do it. But it wasn't going to be me saying, you know what, this dude got to go out there in the streets. It wasn't going to be me. You know what I'm saying? Yet this individual who doesn't know because he's offended because I brought up some friends of his that he came into the aftermath after everything was already established out there and became friends with. You forget that I was in the trenches with these dudes. You forget I've been in some serious battles. You forget I did time for these vatos. You guys, you know what I mean? And you're going to come in where you weren't even one that wanted to gangbang out in the streets. See, that's the funny thing. There was a lot of dudes out there who, when shit was cracking off out in the streets, they didn't want to gangbang. They would claim they didn't bang. Then later on, they became homeboys all of a sudden. Come on, man. There was a lot of us out there that were fucking outgunned, right? Low in numbers, fucking youngsters, fucking skinny as fuck, man. And we were just out there on the block, man. And it was getting, sometimes it would get fucking dangerous out there, man. And we were kids. Now I was looking at a picture of me and about 3 other homeboys when we were like posted up on the block on Edsel Drive on Shirley. Man, we're fucking I'm like, back then we were out there, carrying guns, getting shot at and fucking with grown men. Crazy lifestyle, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's how the situation arose with me how I walked away, you know what I'm saying, and how I went to my hood specifically to 2 particular individuals I respected because I didn't really care about a lot of other people. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things like back then I was kind of like a little bit of a bully at times. People know that. They used to call me Debo sometimes as another nickname. I was a bully. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't a good person because what I said would go. But you got to remember the responsibilities that I had and the examples I was trying to set. And I didn't have time for all the fucking bullshit stories. Like, man, you ain't got the fucking money. You're not doing nothing. I ain't going to fuck with you. Now, if you kept it real, I'd fuck with you. And so when this happened, I directly went to Homeboy's pad. I didn't fucking hide. I didn't cower out. I didn't none of that bitch shit. I sat there and fucking told what happened, explained what happened and why. You know what I'm saying? Then I left. You know what I'm saying? And in their defense, I was strapped, but you guys had a strap too. I dropped off 2 of those at your house. You know what I'm saying? You guys had straps in those house because I had 2 of them being held there at one time. You know what I'm saying? That was one of my safe spots for a minute. So all that people want to sit there and jump out of left field, man. You weren't there. You weren't about nothing, man. And it kind of was disrespectful that you would think that me mentioning the homeboy made for 2-3 minutes, a little bit about his story, about how he got out there. So be it. That's all public knowledge. It is what it is. There was nothing derogatory or spoken bad upon that individual. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing is if anybody had a personal feeling about anything, they could get at me. Anyway, you can get at me on IG and just get at me. If any of you guys know how I used to be, man, then you can get at me about any topic, any subject, and I'll discuss it. I've never been one. I ain't gonna sit there and put motherfuckers' names on blast or none of that shit, man. But all that coming from left field talking shit, I'm not with all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about your merits or your awards and all that. That's cool that you got that. But it doesn't impress me because it didn't impress me then. It doesn't impress me now as far as on a man-to-man basis. You know what I'm saying? Whatever my actions were, they were. This doesn't involve you. It doesn't concern you. You know what I'm saying? Because prior to that, as far back as a kid, motherfuckers weren't going to do shit about it, man. Anyways, real quick spill. I got a little bit offended by some comments, man. And just want to do a little quick video. You guys have a good one.